We did want to sort of finish on something that Saib and I felt to be quite important, because there is an app that gamers tend to use quite frequently called Discord. I use it for my community. The Triple S League has used it for theirs, but there's been some problems going on as of late with their changes in terms of service, and we thought we'd talk about that just so you guys are all aware. So, Saib, do you want to explain what's been going on with that?
Yeah, so we made the announcement today. This weekend we're going to be cutting away and removing certain sections of our Discord. We're going to be deleting everything in certain sections, which really sucks because that stuff's been there for years, and you literally go back in years and see some really great discussions and stuff and content. But frankly, we no longer feel safe with Discord. We certainly don't feel safe with Discord when we're having discussions about sensitive topics, and when we're having discussions around or sharing memes. It's quite simple. I grew up in a day and age where my grandfather didn't have very many comics around the place, didn't have very much comedy, but what he did have as a lowly farmer working the land is that he had a collection of political cartoons making fun of political people that he both respected and didn't like at the same time. And that always stuck with me because it always became clear that making fun of people in power is a good thing. It helps keep them in check. It helps them to prevent to becoming tyrants. And when you have that removed, when you remove comedy from the social discourse, you get bad things. Absolutely. I mean, you get really bad things. And some of the first people to go in every tyrant regime that starts up, some of the very first people to go officially after the new regime is set, is comedians. Comedians almost always get executed in large numbers. And I remember that one of my most favorite comedians, Victor Borga, ran away from his country of birth because of this. There were many others. History has a long record of comedians being killed because they mocked the wrong person at the wrong point in time. And I think that comedy and I think that discussion is something that you can't always be safe with, because sometimes people have a really, really, really terrible, name it, presupposition, assumption, some form of bigotry. Sometimes they're just, ignorant on things. And the way that you get away from this stuff and the way that you set the record straight is you have discussion on it. Well, you can't, when you're having a discussion on a sensitive topic, you actually have to talk about the sensitive topic. You can't just throw it, in the lawnmower and say, we're never going to mention that. So you're not going to get the answers. You're not going to have the conversation. You're not going to be able to put sunlight on a bad idea, which is the best disinfectant. You're not going to be able to remove the bad concepts without discussing and having discourse, which is funny because this whole thing's called Discord. So we're pulling some stuff back. We've set up a new Gilded server. We're not giving up on Discord entirely. There's lots of people who still rely on it to be their main source of connection with us. So, but we are going to be gradually. We now have a backup. There'll be a link in the description for our new Gilded Discord area. It's very similar to Discord. It's almost identical. We've copied over everything, basically, have it identical. There's already members over there. So please join up over there. Please jump in the actual discourse on Gilded. And yeah, the ability for people to speak their mind and then to have, actual conversation is important. And we want to have that. One of the things that we'll be putting up is, I don't know if you ever heard it, Max, but Rona Atkinson did a speech about free speech.
Yes, I saw that.
And what it meant to him. We'll be replacing the some of our more spicier topic channels with a monument to the former place to have discussions on these things and to communicate. And just so that everybody understands, some people are like, well, Discord's just getting rid of all the prawn and the sandwich making, and the sandwich making is our code word for the other thing that you find on the hub. we don't allow that stuff anyways. We already have pretty stringent records, not records. We have pretty stringent. Oh my goodness, rules when it comes to what you can and can't post, and we do that because we want it to be generally PG. We want Ash has kids, and there are kids on that show up on the Discord via their parents who are members and stuff like that from time to time. And we don't want to allow them to accidentally click on a link that takes them to some three-way sandwich making, if you catch my drift. So we have rules against that stuff, and we don't allow we don't have a section that's dedicated to Alex Jones or anything like that. We just have general places where people talk about issues and they talk through some issues. And with this war going on right now, there's been some pretty heated topics on this stuff. But what we've had and what we've developed over the last few years is the ability to discuss and talk about these things and have some level of hammering out ideas, hammering out concepts, and the ability to try and correct people when they're wrong and gracefully, and to encourage people to see past their differences. I thought this was an important thing. But apparently this is not an important thing to certain megacorps who decide that it's either their way or the highway, and you don't get to experiment. You don't get to come to a place where you understand that point of view. You have to arrive at that point of view before you start to use their services. And if you don't, you're just, you're the worst thing that a terrible person. And it's so wrong because it's so deceptive and it's so evil. Yeah, and we really want to encourage people to move away from it. We don't abandon places where we're set up. We
on a whim,
on a whim. We're not shutting down Discord tomorrow, but we're certainly not using them as a financial investment anymore. We're not using them as other things. Instead, we'll be shifting away that kind of stuff into other places, and we're going to be pushing to do other things. We need the ability. People need the ability to speak, to be understood, to have some conversation back and forth, and then to come to a point where they can understand what's going on. If we don't have that, we don't have discourse. You have
you have Discord.
You have Discord via a state or a corporation approval board. It's like that's not good. I'm not advocating for places where you could share anything that's illegal. I don't think that nothing illegal that's illegal in a normalized country that has an emphasis on personal liberty. I don't think anything illegal that's illegal there should be legal on the internet just willy-nilly. I think that there's definitely rules for that, and I'm insinuating one particular thing, if you catch my drift. I'm specifically targeting one thing that is a problem on Discord. But at the same time, it's like there has been Discord communities that have been trying to help Discord with this stuff, and they just ignore them.
I talked about this briefly, the change in the terms of service with one of my moderators the other day. I didn't because of sort of the generally civil nature of my community. I didn't really think about it too much, but I think I'm gonna sort of do what you've done, just in case. I'll probably set up a Gilded server, let everybody know about it, and then if all hell breaks loose, then we'll just revert back to that.
You may get a warning. They may just automatically remove certain things. They may start to put you on a list and then cancel you at their leisure. And we've had a large community that were friends with us go offline in a day, and Jeez. Discord never showed the evidence for why they killed that server and killed that community. They never ever exposed the information that they said was on there. They said, well, a certain big major corporation told us it was there, so we just deleted it all. Mm-hmm. And then blacklisted every single person on the community. So anyways, please join our Gilded. Look for us on other social media platforms.